In our first story, lawyers for alleged British drug baron David McDermott have 15 days to stop his extradition to the United Kingdom to face drug-related charges.
This was after an Accra High Court on Tuesday gave an all-clear for his transfer to the UK, having been convicted or convinced that there are sufficient grounds for his extradition. Raymond Aqua has more.
David McDermott has been on the run for the past 3 years from the UK authorities, but was picked up in Accra on March 11, 2016. According to the prosecution, McDermott is believed to be a key figure who is part of a conspiracy to supply a large quantity of cocaine to the United Kingdom, for which his extradition was being sought by the UK government. Counsel for McDermott, Victor Adawudu, in opposing the extradition request, argued that Ghana and the UK did not have an extradition agreement and that the state had breached the extradition procedures with impunity. But the judge, Mele Efuawood, held a different view. According to her, Ghana has an extradition treaty with the UK and that the crime is not political. She also dismissed arguments that narcotic-related issues are not extradition offenses. The judge then remanded him in prison custody for 15 days till his extradition warrant is issued. After the judgment, lawyer for McDermott, Victor Kojoga Adawudu, said they are not ruling out a fresh application to contest the ruling.
Due process is part of the law. So I would definitely speak to my client. I'll have conference with him and we'll see the way forward. The good thing is also that we have 15 days, as the court itself said, after committing, you cannot be repatriated or extradited until 15 days expires. So we would see what I will advise him and what is his wish. And when I get a firm instruction, I would see the way forward.
Looking at the kind of fight you put up previously, are you likely to advise that your client actually apply for habeas corpus?
It is a right that is open to us. And if we are convinced after talking to him and know the chances and everything, if he's convinced and we are convinced in our argument that we want, I believe we may exercise that right. It's a right that has been given to us. It's either you exercise it or you leave it.
Is he disappointed?
No. My client's never disappointed. I think he has appreciated what we have done so far. The force of argument and the procedure, how we have gone about the issue, he's satisfied, he's happy, and I think that he thinks that at least he has proved his innocence, that he has never been engaged in narcotic in Ghana, as people will want the world to believe.
We also have to remain in the court as an Accra High Court has adjourned the case in which Paul Afoko is fighting his suspension as the national chairman of the New Patriotic Party.
Mr. Afoko is challenging the suspension by the party's NEC, arguing it is illegal. The judge presiding over the case, Anthony Yeboah, is however warning further delay in the process could infringe on Mr. Afoko's rights. Kwache Afre has more.
The court was today expected to begin the pre-trial hearing. This involves setting out the issues for the trial, like which witness statements would be used. But that could not happen. That's because lawyer for the MPP, Godfred Dame, said they had not received all the necessary documents needed for the case to proceed. The presiding judge, Anthony Yeboah, at this point indicated that the case could proceed anyway. However, lawyers for the MPP insisted the right processes needed to be followed. The presiding judge then explained that there is a need for an expeditious trial, as further delay in the process could infringe on the rights of Mr. Paul Afoko. In the opinion of Justice Anthony Yeboah, this is also crucial because the suspended chairman's tenure is limited and his suspension indefinite. The court also took a firm position on public commentary regarding the trial. The judge maintained that he would not gag anyone from expressing their opinion on the ongoing processes once this is done within the confines of the law. After court proceedings, a spokesperson for Mr. Foko, Nanaya Osei, described the court's stance as a vindication of the suspended chairman's earlier stance.
This was said in court, vindicating Mr. Foko's position that so long as he doesn't comment on the merits of the matter before the court in the media, nobody can stop him from responding to allegations against him and which are not before the court for determination. For us, that point was very, very instructive. So Mr. Foko would continue to express his views in response to some frivolous allegations that have been leveled against him when he gets the opportunity. But he is very much aware and he knows the issues before the court. And so, as a law-abiding citizen, he will not veer into the matter that is before the court. He will stay clear of the matter that is before the court and allow the court to do its work.
The case has been adjourned to April 13.
In other stories, the Roads and Highway Minister Inusa Fuseni says the reasons accounting for the overpayments and unearned salaries in his ministry were due to delays in deleting names from the payroll system at the Controller and Accountant General's Department.
The sector minister, who took his turn at the Public Accounts Committee sitting, made this known after the committee raised concerns over the recurrence of thousands unearned salaries paid to some staff. This was contained in the 2012 and 2013 Auditor General's report of the Roads and Highway Ministry.
According to the 2012 and 2013 auditor's report, agencies under the ministry have been paid unearned salaries. Unearned salaries amounting to 9,334.53 cedis was paid between May 2009 to May 2012 to 6 staff of the Department of Feeder Roads in Takoradi in the Western Region. The ministry is expected to retrieve outstanding 7,920.53 cedis from the staff. 16 staff of the Ghana Highway offices in Ho in the Volta region were paid over 13,000 cedis classified under unearned salaries. 53 staff of the Ghana Highways offices in Howe were also paid salary advances over 15,000 cedis. 13 out of the 53 are currently on retirement, whilst 3 are deceased, leaving behind outstanding advances of 6,548.27 cedis and 627.44 cedis. The sector minister appeared before the committee to answer some questions.
Because payment is centralized, before you generate records, it takes time. And then by the loss of the time, the controller pays the salary. So one reason why we have an earned salary is the system. What we need to do is what we are doing now. Every month, before salaries are paid, the controller sends us a CD in hard copy. Verify these names. So we go through verification and authentication before payment is done.
Meanwhile, the committee has also instructed the ministry to take the necessary steps for the handing over of a new Nissan Navara vehicle, which an amount of 63,824 has already been paid to Japan Motors since 2012.
Minister, any asset that is be used over a longer period cannot be charged to 1 year's accounts. So if you're buying a vehicle whose life will go beyond a particular project, you don't charge the whole cost to one particular project.
I agree with you. I think that
Period.
Coming from the principle of depreciation.
Period.
So if the vehicle will move beyond 5 years.
I've finished. The vehicle will go beyond 5 years. The contract, let me say, maximum 36 months. So beyond the contract, you're going to use that vehicle for other contracts, other projects. So why do you charge it to one particular contract? That is my beef. And I told her that it distorts project costs. Therefore, all other projects will benefit from that pool of your monitoring vehicles. So every single project, big ones, you buy vehicles, you see, and when they finish, all other projects are going to be monitored by these same vehicles. So where do we charge all these number of vehicles to one particular project? And it's a loophole. We have found that. You see, Parliament is not sleeping as others think. We are working to watch what the ministries do. And this is an area we want to advise that we should try to desist from this area.
The Transport Ministry and the DVLA will later appear before the Public Accounts Committee.
Government has reached a settlement with over 1,000 School of Hygiene graduates that will see them formally absolved.
The 1,347 graduates who left the school in 2011 have been agitating for jobs that were once almost guaranteed. The graduates, according to the agreement reached with the Employment and Labor Relations Ministry, will be engaged by the Youth Employment Agency for a year.
The group has been picketing out the premises of the Employment Ministry since October last year over government's failure to post them since 2011. Minister for Employment and Labor Relations Haruna Idrisu at a news conference said that they would be engaged under the auspices of the Youth Employment Agency on a contract which would span a year.
The government have accepted through the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and the Ministry of Employment to employ all 1,347 graduates from the 3 affected institutions since 2011 to be absorbed under the National Youth Employment Agency as a temporary measure.
Spokesperson for the group, Prince Dramado, in an interview with Joy News said they would want government to speed up the process towards full employment with benefit.
We deem it necessary to go by the terms that will also help in our aspect to deliver our services to Mother Ghana. So we see this platform to be just a starting or maybe a startup to temporarily solve a problem, and then we can move on with the key issue of our postings right after this one, which we believe that per the agreement or the memorandum is stated that all effort has been employed within the 1 year for things to be addressed. We also hope that as at that time will elapse, things will be in order, we can be mechanized permanently as staffs to work here.
Minister for Local Government Alhaji Collins Dauda also assured the group that once deployed, they will operate as environmental officers within the local government system.
The Volta Region House of Chiefs has announced plans for the construction of a mini hydro dam and others in the region to help shore up the country's energy needs.
President of the House of Chiefs, Togbi Afadal 14, said the 9 dams to be constructed at the various locations in the region will be engineered by energy experts from Italy. He was addressing his colleague chiefs at their first general meeting for 2016.
Togbi Afadal the 16th said final preparations are ongoing for the construction of the plants to commence, adding a team of experts from Italy would visit the region to complete feasibility studies on the 9 selected sites. Togbi Afadal, who is also the Agbogbo Mafia of the Anglon State, expressed disappointment in the delay of the development of an experimental 100-acre rice farm, which is a deal between the Volta region and the Ningxia province in China. The delay is as a result of unavailability of lands in the designated areas in and around Apipe.
9 locations that were identified for the possible construction of mini hydro power plants. The sites include River Passage 1 and 2, Nabansu, Melusu, Ogwe, Water walls, legal and also
also appealed to the chiefs in the region to be neutral and not engage in party politics, but gave all political parties equal audience as the country heads to the polls in November. He, however, decried renewed chieftaincy clashes at Sovie in the Kwando district and entreated the two factions to dialogue to settle their differences for peace to prevail in the region.
Access to all political parties who like the basic tests or our abilities. As chiefs again, we have to be very neutral and facilitate all of these bases by all political parties. So sad for us to hear about the recent eruption of violence in the Soviet dispute.
And Toby Apoda said final preparations were ongoing for the construction of the plant to commence and also make sure that a team of experts from Italy will visit the region to complete the feasibility studies on 9 other selected sites.
Well, with that said, we end the AM News. There's more news, of course, on myjoyonline.com, but when we come back, we have the newspapers, and then we'll visit a few of the online portals to tell you what's trending. And of course, we've got your messages.